Jose Ricardo Corminas. Hobbies right now include surfing, drawing, painting, music, skateboarding. Earliest I can remember music is like Michael Jackson when I was like a really little kid liking that. But other than that, when I was 12, that's when I started playing guitar. My mom caught me in my room playing guitar to an Oasis like air guitar, like with the little, not air guitar, but there was a little guitar, and I was faking like I was playing Oasis, and then she said, "Hey, do you want to get guitar lessons?" So we went and got me a cheap guitar, and I started taking guitar lessons. Me and the bass player of my old band, which I was kicked out of, we ended up starting this new band, and it was just us two, and it was more like piano bass or whatever, and then we all parted ways, and there's a whole bunch of different history to the band. With the band, I would like to tour. I'd like to record an album. Really would like to go to Europe and play. I would like to do some videos. Just kind of do all that kind of stuff. That would be fun.
My name is Miguel Quintero Jr. I was born in Provo, Utah in 1983. Some of my hobbies currently, or even in the past, obviously music is a big hobby of mine. I used to be into any sort of outdoor sporting activity, fishing, hiking, boating, snowboarding when I was in Utah, wakeboarding, just pretty much, all around any sort of activity that's challenging. I remember being probably 5 or 6 years old, and my dad listening to music kind of during the weekends, and him just kind of playing kind of the stereo kind of loud, and I remember being a little kid and just kind of being driven by that. And he used to play guitar, and I remember asking him for a guitar, and my first guitar I was about 7 years old. It was kind of a little kid-sized guitar, and I remember sitting in my room just kind of dinking around with it because I didn't have any training and I didn't even know how to tune it at all. So that was kind of my first introduction to music. My first introduction to the opera was in 2007. I was actually introduced to it by the lead singer now, Jose. I worked with him, and he told me that he was in a band, and he hadn't really expressed any interest in really much more than that, other than saying that he was in a band. And I was kind of doing music on my own, acoustic, and he had mentioned that there was an opening kind of in his band, and so I went and kind of checked him out, and I just kind of liked the music from then, and so I decided to kind of join then, and we've kind of been doing it ever since. What I kind of hope for now, obviously, in moving out and kind of putting my life on hold for the band, is I hope to one day make a living on it. One day to be able to, have platinum albums, to be able to be accomplished, and, for people to be able to say that the music has touched them or has somewhat influenced their life.
I was born in Los Angeles, California, in 1983, and my name is Pablo Gomez. Well, I recently got into video games. Before that, it was just pretty much listening to music. Listening to any kind of music I can, anytime, anywhere. Other than that, maybe extracurricular activities such as bowling, shooting, fencing. Just kidding, not fencing. My first introduction to music was actually when I was in middle school. I joined a jazz band, and actually I was in a beginning band, but I progressed and I got into the more intermediate band classes, and that originally introduced me to music, to playing instruments. My first introduction to the opera was in 2008, when there was just a joke saying, "Hey, why don't you just pick up a bass and join the band?" So I did, and I did, and I did. Well, you know what? My whole life, I liked school when I was in school. When I was in high school, I loved school. My mom, friends, people always used to ask me, what do I want to do with my life? And I really never knew what I wanted to do because nothing really interested me. And I just thought I was just going to work at some corporate business for the rest of my life. And you know, when I was introduced to the opera, I realized at that point that music that's what I want with my life. I want to play music, and I want to just do it freely and just whenever I want, whenever I can, as long as I'm in good health and I'm alive. I want to play music.
My name is Andrew Hernandez. I'm from Ridgecrest, California. I like drumming and architecture, and those two things are pretty much all I do. I was 14, and I remember my dad playing in a band, and I always wanted to play. And I had drums. I was very interested in drums, so I just started playing drums. Asked for a set for Christmas, and that's it. First introduction to the opera was late January '09. I was watching the MySpace for a couple weeks, and I found an ad that they were looking for a drummer, and I liked the sound a lot. So I just replied to the ad, and basically talking back and forth with the guys, and a couple tryouts later, it was official in April of '09 that I was in the band. I was the new drummer. I want to make a living at it, not rich or anything, but be able to buy a house one day, have a family, playing music, writing music, going on tour, and that paying the bills. I love doing it. Go to theoperarock.com.